Night Terrors issue 2 picks up with Deadman creating his own late night talk show in Batman's mind, telling the unseen audience the old saying how the only regret on your deathbed will be you wish you had more time to spend with your family. He knows that some people don't actually get a deathbed, so what do they regret? He decides to ask his first guest this evening that question, announcing Sandman onto the stage, as out in reality, Wesley Dodds works his way through everything Boston told him about what's going on, knowing he's now possessing the body of a man who dresses like a bat, and that they are being hunted by a man who moves between their dreams and nightmares. Boston knows that it's a lot to take in, but Insomnia is after the Nightmare Stone and Wesley seems to know what it is. Sandman remembers the case he had on it, and it's the one that's always haunted him. Wesley explains that he was tracking down a cult that worshipped the god of nightmares, and first it was like all cults, only caring about sex and money. But then things got real weird when the rich people decided to sacrifice a man to their god to unlock something from another realm. Sandman reveals that he interrupted their ritual, attacking the cult members and freeing the young man they were sacrificing, but Wesley thinks he got too cocky, as the young man actually wanted to be sacrificed, grabbing the knife from Wesley and killing himself, as the rest of the cult drank a poison potion to join him in the afterlife. The Nightmare Stone soon began to manifest itself before Wesley, but Sandman knew, thanks to his prior investigations that led him to the cult, the poison they just took wasn't real, and instead just knocked them out. The stone, unable to fully manifest thanks to the members not sacrificing their lives, disappears back into the ether. Sandman leaves the area, asking his fellow JSA members about the stone and if they've ever encountered something like that, but none of them ever had. He knows that there is something about the case that shook him though, and Dr. Fate once told him that an item that could bridge the waking world with the dream world would be incredibly dangerous in the wrong hands. Boston thanks Wesley for his information, wanting him to get back into the grave before the resin takes full effect and he becomes a flesh-eating zombie, but Wesley refuses to, since this case haunted him and he feels it's his responsibility to see it through. Heading to the Batmobile, Boston tells his new partner that he doesn't know really where to begin, as an alert sounds through the car, asking all awake heroes to report to Terrific Tech for help. Boston wonders if any of the cult members are still alive, but Sandman thinks that was a long time ago, and they will all be long dead. Elsewhere though, the descendant of one of the last living cult members, now an old man, stirs in his dreams, where he is a young man who oversees a party full of masked cult members, demanding he be given more wine and gold from his servants. One of his servants asks him a question, angering the man since no one asked him to talk, demanding the servant's head. The servant removes his mask, revealing himself to be Insomnia, who thinks the man's father would be proud of him jumping right to executions. The man doesn't think his father matters anymore, but Insomnia reveals that his father tried to capture a piece of living horror in the Nightmare Stone, and he wants to know where it is. The man reveals that he spoke to many mediums and mystics, but none knew what he was talking about, and his father ruined their family name with his cult antics, and he's been left to rebuild it all by himself. Insomnia grabs the man, digging his hands into his mouth as he tells him his father wanted the stone to increase his wealth, and since the son wants more money as well, he'll give it to him. Insomnia shoves his hand with a bag of money down the man's throat, causing him to explode with coins. Frustrated on not getting any information he wanted, Insomnia demands that his sleepless nights go and fetch him Deadman. At Terrific Tech, Red Tornado meets with Batman, but Deadman quickly fills him in on the situation, seemingly disappointing the robot that it's not really Batman who's there. The robot fills Deadman in on every person in the world falling asleep at the same time, creating a massive disaster. But thankfully, the robots don't need sleep and they've been pitching in to help. Deadman realizes that he was so focused on stopping Insomnia that he didn't realize how this was impacting the rest of the world. He hopes that waking the heroes will help things get back on track, but Tornado shows the heroes the in stasis Mr. Terrific, revealing he's having one hell of a nightmare, and not just that, the readings he's been getting show that the heroes are slipping deeper into their sleep comas, and the longer they are in them, the less connection they have with their real life bodies. Deadman tells the robot Insomnia wanted this to happen so he could search for the Nightmare Stone in the dreams, but Sandman theorizes that the stone could be in their world and maybe John Dee didn't hide it in dreams. Deadman begins to think that this is all too much for him since he's just a ghost trapeze artist and he's never the type to save the entire world. Boston is doubled over in pain as Insomnia tries to connect back to the hero, allowing him to see his nightmares again. Boston is taken taken back to Arkham Tower, where he witnesses the man who would become Insomnia, called Mr. Lucas by the staff, taken to the common room where he is partnered with John Dee to play chess, since both seem to like the game. As they play, Lucas overhears the news of the Justice League's return after they were feared dead during the Dark Crisis. He explodes into a rage upon the sight of the League returning, killing one guard and trying to take another's eyes out as he proclaims that he won't rest until the Justice League are seen by the world for how he sees them. Eventually, he is sedated by some orderlies who think it's time for Mr. Lucas to go back to sleep since he's too dangerous to be left awake. Deadman wonders why the doctors wanted him to stay asleep constantly, as insomnia kicks him out of his mind. Sandman asks the waking Deadman what he saw, only told that Insomnia is feeling frustrated that he is still trapped in the nightmare realm. Wesley realizes that if Deadman is connected to Insomnia, then he probably knows where they are now. Suddenly the power goes out, plunging the room into darkness, only barely lit by red emergency lights. Sandman thought that Insomnia was still trapped in the nightmare realm, and Boston knows that he is, but his sleepless nights aren't. The monsters surround the heroes as Red Tornado calls to them, telling them to follow him. Tornado, however, has been ripped apart by the Sleepless Queen, who uses the dismembered robot's body like a puppet to tell the heroes that they are up way past their bedtime.